Very good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Rushan Gandhi, Assistant Professor in AC Department, PIT, Parul University. Okay, so first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to invite Mr. Gaurav Chawda, currently working as an yield engineer at Maxim Integrated. And he was the ex-worker at one of the best MNCs of Vadodara called as Matrix Comsec. And he was posted as the hardware engineer over there. And so, without wasting much of time, I am handing to the Mr. Gaurav so that we can have the maximum benefit of his sharing. And one more thing, it is our privilege having him for the today's webinar on connecting to the world. And I am sure that he is going to rock this webinar. So all the best, Gaurav. Now the resources and allocated time will be yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So good afternoon to one and all. Welcome to this session. My name is Gaurav and I'm presently associated with Maxim Integrated as an yield engineer at Gandhinagar. I love to connect with people and talk about technologies and discuss their ideas about that. So here I am for the same. Without taking much of your time, let me tell you how I have divided this 1 hour segment, this 1 hour session. First and foremost, we'll be going about an introduction about all the recent technologies that have been growing in this world at a much faster pace. Then we'll be looking what trend is it in present world. It is machine learning, the artificial intelligence, the smart things. We see IoT devices. IoT stands for Internet of Things. So we see multiple Internet of Things devices. We see home automation. We see smart devices. We see machine learning stuff and all. So we'll be discussing about that. And to the last but not the least, a questionnaire session of about 5 to 7 minutes, where you guys can ask about anything, whether it's related to this session or not, or any kind of your technological doubts. So let us begin with what technology excites you. So it is the foremost question that you must ask to yourself in this present world, which is moving at very faster pace. What all technologies are there which excites you or which makes you crazy? Do you think about that? Just for an example, just imagine a small memory card, a small memory chip is now capable enough to have 1 terabyte of storage on the go. So just imagine if it was near about 32 GBs when we consider about in 2010. So it has been just 10 years and we have almost expanded to another level. So the foremost technologies that are growing for now are machine learning, artificial intelligence. When I say about machine learning, it's something which we train machine to perform in multiple ways, or to take out our work and do that in a very nice and simpler way. Now talking about the artificial intelligence, so it's a bigger picture of machine learning. Talking about this AR and VR, AR stands for augmented reality and VR stands for virtual reality. We have seen many of the games, many of real life experiences. Now many good initiatives have begun to give this study modules for children in the form of virtual reality, so that from the initial level they can imagine how things are done. Especially when I consider about biology, especially when I consider about the chemistry, how this elements react to each other and how they form the bond. These are all things which we cannot visualize just by saying. So that virtual reality provides this bridge. It fills this bridge to connect with people or to connect with student, how the molecular level or how the atomic level work is going on. Second thing that is being growing a lot in this decade is the smart homes. We have seen nearly almost every device becoming a part of smart homes. Whether you consider your tube lights, whether you consider your fans, your ACs, geysers, washing machines, these all things have been turned out to be capable enough to get connected to your smart home, so that you can access these devices on the go from anywhere. Now, moving to the section of IoT devices. So IoT devices are the ones that about which I'll be speaking much in this session. IoT devices are pretty much simpler, but the work they do is very important in case of artificial intelligence and machine learning, because all the foremost data and all the crucial data come from IoT devices. And on the later note, to get all these things connected and to provide a low latency and high transmittance with a good bandwidth, we have this evolution of fifth generation network system, that is 5G we call as. Now, machine learning. So machine learning is the term which have been defined by many individuals according to their thought, and some of the best I have presented here. Learning denotes change in a system that enables a system to do the same task more efficiently the next time. Learning is constructing or modifying representation of what is being experienced. On the last, machine learning enables machine to learn from past data or experiences without being explicitly programmed. But I think a bit different from these all definitions. According to me, machine learning refers to a system capable of autonomous acquisition and integration of knowledge for improvisation. When I say the word improvisation is something that is continuously futuristic approach, or continuously on a better note. So when I say machine learning, when I am making something learn from the data, all I want is to improve improvisation from its side. So machine learning is something you cannot define in just a process. Like I have defined a whole process and this is all machine learning is. No, it is something beyond the process. Now, what is the need of machine learning? It is the foremost question that you must have when you listen the word about machine learning. So very first thing is, no human expert. No human expert. In the case of no human expert, we have the industrial and manufacturing control. Now, what I think is, we human tend to differ in working of all the senses that we have. Like we have a different way of approach, so that some person can do a task at much faster pace and some other can do the same task in a bit slower process. We have a different way of visualization. Like we visualize everything differently. We have our own sort of experiences, and based on that we visualize how things goes on a present scenario. And on the last, we have different thought process. Now this thought process leads us to different kind of solutions, or to different kind of ways to carry out the same task, which can be ignored, or which can be replicated, or which can be neglected by these machines at a very faster pace. Like machine learning is just an probability approach. The more and more data I provide to the machines, the more and more probability basis it has. It has the mass spectrometer analysis, drug design, astronomic discovery. On the recent front, there has been a lot of advancement in computer aided drug designs. So now scientists uses computers and these machine learning data to see how the drug will perform in body, and how the chemical composition would react in what cases. And in this COVID-19 vaccine, this drug this computer drug added designs have done a lot of advancements and help to the scientists. Coming to the next is the black box human expertise. So when I say about the black body human expertise, I mean about the face handwriting, speech recognition. We have seen almost in all our mobile devices we have facial recognition. We have different sort of scannings, palm scanners, fingerprint scanners. Then on every vehicle now they are embedded with the new license plate, so that these cameras which are placed at your traffic signals could capture this license plate. So this whole phenomena of capturing your license plate from an image is called as automatic license plate recognition system, that is called as ALPR. So it has grown to some other extent, through which now it is very easy and very handy to capture the license plate as well. So this is again empowered by machine learning to on what all scenarios, how to set the dynamic conditions of camera to capture this license plate and all. For the very recent times, we have seen the example of this fast tag. This fast tag has also been implemented throughout, so that there is no delay of stopping at the toll and handing over the cash, or dealing with this transactions. Then we see driving a car or flying a plane. So in the recent times, the Tesla and the Google, some of the large companies are still into the market making this autonomous or I should say driverless self-driving cars. We have seen some of the latest planes which do not require a person in a cockpit even to monitor, so that you can remotely, and it also has got multiple sensors through which it can control its flight and all. So this is something which machine learning enables. It's just widespread what all imagination or what all thinking that we do. Then we have rapidly changing phenomena. We have credit scorings, we have financial models. Now when I say about financial modeling, it's something about your profits and loss about a daily basis. For an individual it is easy, but when I say about MNC, it is very hard to look over at all the places throughout the globe and to collect the data. So such kind of things have been done very easily through machine learning. Like there is like in the stock market as well, for the prediction of nifty levels or the sensex level, will the market be bullish or bearish, can easily be tracked or approached through this machine learning. And in the recent times, with increase in the online transaction from your credit cards, from your various mobile third party applications, there has been a lot of chances of frauds. So again, machine learning empowers this fraud detection for diagnosis and blocking such kind of users which usually does this fraud. uh, Next we have is the need for customization and personalization. So we have seen almost many of news readers that are presently available on play stores or iOS stores. They are customizable, and they provide the news based on what listener wants. Like for an example, if I say my Google Assistant to get me the latest news in Hindi, now for the next time whenever I say it, just to get the latest news, it remembers that last time I have used Hindi as my native language to listen this news, so that this time it will provide the news in Hindi as well. So such kind of small examples that you can relate with yourself, that is happening over in your surroundings, you can relate to that. On the last we have is the movie and the book recommendations. We have seen many of OTT content of OTT platforms where you see, you just go up and there's a pop-up section of recommended for you. So these are all things that is being, empowered with machine learning on the back end, and they usually monitors how a person or how a particular user goes throughout this application, and what all things he searches and he views for. So this is just a feedback process for that, which we see. uh, Considering about the examples of what machine learning is. So machine learning, as I mentioned about the self driving cars, then predicting about the illness. So this is a very good example of machine learning. We have smart bands, we have smart watches, we have smart rings that we can wear in our fingers. Now these devices are embedded with multiple sensors. Even they can sense the heart rate, they can sense your blood oxygen, they can sense the galvanic skin resistance that provides the stress level of an human. Even they can check for your ECG and all. So these all things of a person can be extracted from these devices, and based on the deep learning and on the backend processing, that device can provide you notification or predict your illness, or chances of getting a disease. Then we have the credit worthiness. Then we have ranking on social medias. This is ranking on social media is something that you have experienced throughout in this 3 to 4 years a lot. Whenever you go through any of e-commerce website, and any kind of such stuff, and when you come back to the social media, there's particular a section where you can see the advertisement of similar thing or the same thing that you have seen there. So this is something just happening around yourself, which is connected with the machine learning. Now, coming saying about this CV in agriculture. CV stands for computer vision. So there has been a lot of advancement in case of agriculture. When I say about hydroponics, when I say about aeroponics, when I say about greenhouse, these all have been powered with machine learning. They have been kept under surveillance, and they have been kept with monitoring of all the data about temperature, humidity, the soil fertility, and wetness of soil, so that they can provide a good yield at the end. Hence this machine learning again empowers this agriculture to provide a good yield by maintaining what all conditions are required for that particular vegetation. Then we have targeted emails. Again, in targeted emails, we almost every day see a lot of emails. So these emails are based on this machine learning process for all the companies that uses or tracks the record of what user wants or how user is going through over the net. So keeping an eye on, or keeping a track on that, generates or triggered this targeted emails. Then we have a Q&A based platforms. Now just imagine you have just opened any of your website, and most of the website have a small tiny chatbot or a robot kind of stuff that just pop-ups from the corner and say, hey, hi, I am here to help you, how may I assist you? And you just cut it down and say, I know everything, please don't tell me. So this is something just powered with this machine learning stuff. Actually, the reason behind that is to understand how a user experience is when he is going through a website, or how beautifully the website has been designed, so that none of his questions remain unanswered just by merely looking the website, so that he need not to get there and type what questions or what doubt he has while surfing the website. So this is all something very designed in a very different way, with a different approach. It is just that we cannot see that, or we cannot connect the dots. On the last example about this is the fashion industries. we go to any e-commerce or e-store platforms, we see certain things over there, and after next time when you go there, there's always a recommendation. Hey, do you want to buy this? This is available at 25% discount. This is amazing deal for you, exclusively for you. These all things have been powered with machine learning on the daily base front. Now let us move to a bigger picture of machine learning, that is called an artificial intelligence. Machine learning, remember, machine learning is all about making machine good enough to learn and adapt from data. So it is more sort of data oriented and probability oriented, where the artificial intelligence is more oriented towards how the things are done. So it's just an intelligence, or the way of thinking, or the knowledge that a human perceives or have, is to be provided to something, and to get the work done from it. So intelligence demonstrated by machines that are programmed to think like human and mimic their actions. In order to this it could also provide a faster way of approach to solve any kind of problem. And artificial intelligence is presently everywhere, where when you step outside your home, you see everywhere the artificial intelligence. Even at your home, you have multiple devices which are artificially intelligent powered. The very best example of ai system is the very best example of ai system could be seen on the later examples. Now artificial intelligence, on this chart you can see the deep learning is a smaller subset of machine learning. We'll tell about the deep learning on a later note. On a later note, this machine learning is also a small subset of this artificial intelligence. So how the artificial intelligence is being powered with all of these technologies. So very first we have the machine learning. Again it has the deep learning. Again it has this root cause of deep learning and clustering. We'll be talking about this on a later note. Then we have the natural language processing. Now to get the data from user, we need something that is called speech, or we need some feedback through text. So to get an idea from how a person is speaking, or how the people speak in different language, at a different pace, at a different tone, what all reactions they have when they say a word with some intention. And from the text, we need to pursue we need to make the system intelligent enough to respond in that particular way. Now once we're done with this all things, then we have something that is called as computer vision. Now computer vision enables us to monitor and to see whether the things are going good enough or not. Because whenever, if there is not a feedback or something that is remaining an open loop, then there will be no importance of artificial intelligence, because it won't be able to see, or it won't be able to identify whether things are going good or not. And on the later note, we have robotics and manufacturing optimization, which is to be targeted goal of from the artificial intelligence point of view. So this is something, the big picture I wanted to talk about. Though the deep learning is termed as, in a very smaller note, like a more recently developed set of learning technique. It is something that you might have heard the word about neural networks. So deep learning is something gathering of data, not only data, but data that have a trackability, data that is interconnected to each other, so that from the information that I have, when I filter out using multiple filter to some sort of small data, and this data must be reliable or must be good enough so that I can give this data to my machine and train it. Now whenever I train my machine, I train it for not only this data, but I train it for any kind of scenario, so that this data has to be good enough, so that this machine cannot go in any kind of ambiguity stage. It has this it does have the solutions for all the problems through which we have done this learning from this data. And from the machine learning, it's a set of algorithms that allow computer to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. So in the machine learning process, we do not program a machine for we do not hardcore code a machine to perform each and every task, like we have multiple if cases, we have multiple loop cases. No, we don't do such kind of things. We just use the kind of data that we get from deep learning, and based on that, it generates its own train matrix. So some of the good examples of machine learning and for the deep learning are on the front of Python, or you can use it. There are TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source library that enables this machine learning and deep learning kind of knowledge. From there, you can even utilize many of your neural network systems. And the combining these both, we have a bigger picture of artificial intelligence. It's a field of science that is primarily concerned with getting computers to do the tasks that would normally require human intelligence. So artificial intelligence is something towards oriented towards the end goal, not with how it is being done, but towards the end goal. So it is something that is, creating a virtual, or creating an artificial human brain that is capable enough to process many things without giving or intimating through any kind of person, or a person who is looking after to that. So coming about the examples of artificial intelligence, now again, the examples of artificial intelligence and machine learning would be having some common union sets, would be having some common region. They won't be separated well enough, because again, machine learning is a union, or is a smaller set, or a subset of artificial intelligence. So the first thing is about the healthcare. So we have now many robots that are good enough to take care the activities that are being done in an hospital. So they can guide the patient to the desired or doctor's room, or they can provide the after surgery treatments with the physiotherapy and all. We have the education system. We have seen a multiple education system that is in the recent times. We see Byju's, we see Whitehead Junior, and there was also initiative from the Tata group for this e-learning kind of stuff, for which they provide e-learning solution kit, from which this e-learning kit adapts what student want, or how student is learning based on their learning pattern. It adapts, and it modifies the content of it. Then we have the automobile. In the section of automobile, we have seen Tesla, we have seen Google, and we have seen some other brilliant companies taking out with brilliant technologies, like in the recent time, there was a technology in a car where the raindrop just falls on the windshield and the wiper goes on. So and second thing, when there's a fall in light from a certain level or certain lux, automatically this headlights goes on. So such kind of adaptations and learnings from your environment makes them a really sensible and good enough. And then we have this space exploration. We have seen what all things ISRO, NASA, SpaceX is doing in the recent times. We have talked about the finance. Then there's a very good example of gaming. The gaming experience, including the virtual reality or the augmented reality, is creating some kind of new experience for all the gamers. Yes. Then we have a big section of artificial intelligence involved in the surveillance sector. So in the time of COVID-19, this surveillance system with empowered with this artificial intelligence have created a large difference in the field of thousands. It can easily notify like where the mass gathering is there, or whether they are following this distance, maintaining distance or not, wearing a mask or not. So these all things have been at very good front for the surveillance. Then we have robotics. We have seen multiple robots which have been developed in the recent time, that are capable for so many things, that they do multiple tasks, or they process trillions of data on a go. When the very good example of artificial intelligence is the social media as well, from where for most of the companies, they get a good source of consumer base. They start to generate a good source of revenue based on the training modules, or based on the train modules these social medias have included. Then we have talked about the agriculture, for coming onto the front of entertainment. So entertainment is something that we all used to listen music online. So you all might have experienced this whenever you tune to some of your favorite songs, and by having the pattern of that, it automatically recommends you to listen this song, or you would love to hear this song, or such kind of stuff. We have talked about this e-commerce as well. Now, what is the difference between the artificial intelligence and a simple robot? Or I should say, what is the difference between a robot that is powered by artificial intelligence, or just a robot that is designed to do a task? So this is something which this T machine example is something which I take on the later note. The AI versus the robot, simple robot, is something that is, AI is programmed to think, whereas robot is programmed to do. A robot only knows what is to be done, because it is being explicitly programmed for that. For the AI stuff, we have the social interaction, or on the robot we have minimal social interaction. We have a touch panel, we have a key set where you can enter whatever you want. But in AI, we take their text, or we take audios, or we take the voice recordings from there, and we process that. And the very important thing about AI, that it learns or it adapts. Where in the robot, they are only smart as they are programmed, or as smart as the programmer has explicitly programmed it. Now, the best example to understand this is to imagine, just you have installed a tea vending machine at your home. Now, for this tea vending machine, once you get this cup full of tea, and take a sip, and you think that certain parameters, or certain taste are not according to you. You want more sugar, you want a bit stronger taste. So these all things are explicitly be tuned by yourself according to your taste. Now just imagine, if we have an artificial intelligent powered tea vending machine, then this machine can remember, oh yeah, last time when Gaurav has visited, he has taken his tea, and in the feedback he has provided that the sugar was a bit less what he needs. So this time, if again Gaurav has come to take the tea, then I need to provide the sugar which was on the last time, but something higher to that amount. So this is something that is continuously improvement and tracking about an individual. So learning about how individual performs, or what individual wants, can be delivered through an artificial intelligence. I hope this picture is clear enough for you, for artificial intelligence powered something, and which is explicitly coded. So I think some of you can even take this tea vending machine with artificial intelligence powered as your final year project as well. So this could turn out to be a very useful thing, I must say. Now we see this IoT, we see this big data, we see this blockchain, and we have seen about this AI and ML stuff. Now one thing new here is the blockchain. So blockchain is something, it is a system of recording information in a way that it makes it difficult or impossible to change. Either it is impossible to hack or cheat the system. You can say blockchain is a kind of digital ledger of all the transaction that is being happening between the big data, AI, ML, or IoT thing. IoT simply provides the refined data, or the data from various different nodes that you have generated. This all goes, eventually it can directly go to this machine learning and artificial intelligence system as well, or it goes to big data, from where these datas are turned into, linked together in a more sensible form, and then they are given to this AI and ML. And wherever there is a processing in data, we need to include this blockchain as well. So this is just a simpler flow. Like internet of things is data collecting and pre-processing, which is given to the big data analysis for data storage and analysis. And this is again then given to machine learning and artificial intelligence, which uses this data for database mining and learning. So this is something that is, once you plan, you start, you do, then again you check whether if this is correct or not. If this is not correct, you just adjust that, and after adjusting, you again replan. So this is what machine learning is. It is an inevitable process that goes on that simply goes on. It's never ending process. Yes. So one of the most important thing that we had to discuss in this session is about internet of things. Internet of things, when I say about internet of things, most of the people are thinking about, this has been seen on the recent trends, with growing at a much faster pace. The network of physical objects or thing embedded with electronics, software, sensor, and network connectivity. This is just in a layman term what IoT is. Now what let us see what these things, what this thing, the word thing, refers when we say about IoT. Before that, let us see what the importance of that. So it enables these objects to collect or exchange the data. We have seen, like, all the nodes that are gathering their data are on the front of IoT. Then it's allow the object to be sensed and controlled remotely. Now what does this allow to? This allows this physical world and my computer to connect together, and so that this physical data, or data available from the physical world, can be processed at much faster pace on this computer based designs, and which again in turn result in the improvement of accuracy, in the improvement of yield, in the improvement of economic benefits. You can have a good profit with this. So let us see what these things refer here. So things in the IoT sense is the wide variety of devices. These are wide varieties of sensors, wide varieties of capturing nodes that you can consider. You can consider as heart rate sensors, you can consider as SpO2 blood. The SpO2 is blood oxygen, blood diffused oxygen. Then we have ECG, then we have pressure, then we have temperature sensor. So many sensors. We have ultrasonic sensors, we have infrared sensors, we have humidity sensor, then we have fire sensor. There are so many electronic sensors that are available in the present time, and even you can build your own sensor as well for whatever thing you want to measure. You want to measure voltage, you want to measure current of any source, any node, that you can build a sensor for that. Even you can use a biochip. You can use biological parameters or biochips, biotransponders on the farm animals, so that you can capture the data of this poultry farming who used to do. Then we have the electric clamps in the coastal areas. We have automobiles with built in a lot of sensors. These days we have reverse parking sensors. We have reverse parking sensors on your car, through which you on your rear mirror you can see a small display on which your car's back camera is turned on, and you can see the four lines that has been projected. So those are nothing but the infrared sensors that used to detect the distance between the objects. And on the later note, the DNA analysis devices for environmental, food, pathogens monitoring, or field operations devices that assist firefighters in the search and rescue operation. So there are a lot of things that have been considered as a thing in Internet of Things. The only thing is something that allows me to capture the data or gather the data. I can consider it as my thing. Now let us see how IoT is also called or referred as network of networks. So whenever I say IoT as a network, so what does I mean to say? A network is well established when I have these kind of certain nodes are connected to each other, and whether they are on a local node or on a local server, or whether they are included on or something that is called as internet, or having a wi-fi or wireless fidelity. Even they can be connected throughout the network with Bluetooth as well, infrared as well. So this is something that is referred as network, through which these all devices can communicate together. So we have so many networks. We have a network of transport, network of energy, we have networks of, let's say, satellite. We have many sensors as embedded throughout the earth, which are capturing multiple data throughout for the astronomy and all. We have multiple sensors placed at our home. We have multiple sensors, we have multiple data nodes at education level, and these are all, when, let's say, connected to some kind of business as a central unit, so that each row is connected, each network is connected with other networks. So you can see these are the individual networks, and these are connected together with this outer circle that is called for the security and analytics and management. So when these all things are connected with the security, analytics, and management capabilities of rerouting each data through any way to this business node, will allow people to do multiple things, or to capture multiple data at a single node. So very foremost example for this IoT network is, imagine I have a band. In this band I have a Bluetooth connectivity, and apart from Bluetooth connectivity, I have a heart rate sensor, I have a blood oxygen monitoring sensor. So when I just wear this device, when I make it to run for capturing the heart rate device, I have this device connected to my phone, so that continuously, as the data is up of the heart rate, it gives to my mobile. When my mobile is connected to the internet, it publishes over its application, so that someone who is using, or someone who is keeping a monitoring, or keep monitoring me, or is looking after me, or taking care of my health, can even see what my heart rate, or what my blood oxygen is from their device. So my device is connected with my phone with a local network, and this my local network is connected to other individual person's phone through this internet. So this is all something that is called as network of network. We have multiple networks that are connected together, but for a single reason: to gather the data, to capture, or to communicate with the duplex system, and to transfer the data as well. Now when I consider about this artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, there's a lot of data. So the important thing is, from data, how we get to wisdom. When I say data, data is in it can come every second, it can come every quarter of second, it can come at any pace that you want, because the digital electronics, the digital devices have become so fast and so accurate, that they provide the data so fast accurately. So whenever the amount of data is large, without filtering, this is referred to as of less important. But whenever I put multiple filters, whenever I do mathematical calculations to reduce this data and to give it more importance, the size of data shrinks, and as it shrinks, it becomes more important. So this is certain a chart that is, you must refer to. I'll be sharing this presentation after this session as well, after this session as well, so you can refer this. And every time you do any kind of project, you do any kind of your startup in future, you just think over this, and you can answer this to the questions that have been written here. Now, IoT market in India, in the terms of units and revenue. So in the recent time, the revenue that is being generated through this IoT market is almost 55%. 55%. Now, from this pie chart, you can see the IoT devices have been segmented or have been flooded in the market in all the sections. We have maximum at the utilities, then we have 18% as at the manufacturing, the IoT devices to look after, to care about the manufacturing plant, the machines that are used for manufacturing. We have the transport and logistics to take care of, like, is there any fraud that is being going on in the transport, is there any burglary that is going on in the transport, or with the material that I'm going to send. There is an automotive, we discuss about many sensors. We are for a very rare good example that I observed about the automotives, like they have included the pressure sensors inside the car, so that once the tire air pressure goes down, it notifies dynamically on your screen. So that this is something that is very useful, because once you are driving, once you are not having so much experience, that you can sense whether the tire pressure is low, or it is getting lower to a certain limit. Once you have this notification or feedback that, yeah, your rear tire or your front tire is going lesser than a certain limit of air pressure. So such kind of things in automotives have performed so well. We have recently heard a lot of news about this Morris garage car that has been included, or that has been recently came to in India. The tagline was, the tagline they have is, it is being powered with artificial intelligence. So again, for the artificial intelligence, it does require cameras and all, it does require all the sensors to process this data and all. Then we have gone through this healthcare section as well, where there is multiple monitoring devices that monitors a lot of data of your health and all. Then we have the retail section, we have every agriculture section. We have seen around talked about all of this section in this pie chart. So Internet of Things is whenever this sensor data comes from an IoT device. IoT device is, again, that is something, a device that is connected to a network, whether it is online or offline. When I say offline, it can be through RFID, it can be through Bluetooth, it can be through infrared, anything that it transmits the device. Then we have a small device that that processes that data, that provides analytics to that. And we then this data is when given over to this data monitoring applications. Now we can see this data, and we just apart from data monitoring, we can even control our this sensor data or the devices that have been closed loop with this system that has been designed. So talking about the internet of things, you can have your access of your cctv cameras on your phones. You can have your remote access of your devices or computers. You can print your any document over the net to your local printer. You can have the access of your webcam. You can if this this is a rotatory or motion generated or an ai powered, so that it can sense the data of who has come to your home. Then there's multiple kind of notifications that this iot can even generate. They tripwire something that is called like intrusions, or whenever you create a certain area that is to be looked after from cctv cameras. And once this any person goes into this, so that it generates an alarm, or it just notifies to your device. So this is all thing. This is a all big picture about this internet of things. Yes. So going before the questionnaire session, I would like to uh, tell something, that if you guys really want to get into this market of iot, if you really want to get into the market of artificial intelligence, it is something that you have to start for now. So this is there is no difference if you have not started yet, or you haven't done anything till now. There is always an opportunity after this. So start working on this. To get started, I can recommend something. To get started, you must start with some of the controllers, some of the microcontrollers, so that it is easy to interface, so that it is easy to program. Such kind of this microcontrollers could be the 8 mega ones, that we generally refers as arduino. There are a lot of boards that come this arduino. It has got a good resource and good open source community as well, so that if you stuck with any point, you just go there, and you just do your login, and you just type over the question there, so that they can provide you multiple information about that. So once you get started with this microcontroller, then there are a lot of sensor available in the market. You take these sensors from the market, or you develop your own sensors. From these sensors, try to fetch the data. Then you will get the importance of what and how precisely the data is required, and it is how hard to get the data precisely. Again, once you get these data precisely to your local node, now you need to try to send these local data to a local host, or to a place where you can keep this data as stored, so that you can use either a bluetooth device, bluetooth shield, or you can even use the wi-fi shields, that is esp8266. You can use just interface this with your controller, or you can get a separate controller which has the capabilities of bluetooth and wi-fi as well. So once you got the data, once the data is accurate, try to put this data put the day put this data, get the help of the computer guy, or you can now have multiple courses on internet, so that you can learn how to create a small mini applications for your mobile phones, and use this and send this data from your local node via internet or via bluetooth to your local devices, local mobile phones. After this, if you get a good hand or good grip over this, try to include cloud as well. And once when it's been done, apart from this controller, it's high time to move towards the processors, microprocessors. Now it is very the field is very very large when you say about the microprocessors that have been powered, that has been made for this iot device, this machine learning, this facial recognition system and all. There's you all might have heard the name about raspberry pi, and there's banana pi as well. Then there are multiple boards from signet as well, from azure as well. So you can take any board, but just think of the one that is being easy to use for now, because you will be starting with initially. So once you get started with this, try to interface all these sensors that you have done from a controller to this microprocessor board. Once you get this, now you can start with image processing and all, and for do this image processing, you can start from this open cv, and for this comparison and all, you can use hara cascade as well on the initial fronts. On the later note, apart from hara cascades, you can always switch over to Microsoft Azure or such kind of multi-language and very niche platforms for this machine learnings. You can even use this TensorFlow library to generate a subset or to generate a kind of flow that will give a machine learning program, or you can use some other neural networks over there to understand how these things are done. But the important thing is to get started. If you start tomorrow, then I am sure one day you'll reach there. But the important thing is to get started with this. So for here, I left this session open for the questions. If you have the questions are welcomed here. I can answer this questions. These questions could be anything from your academics, from your projects, anything. Yeah. Hello. Uh, Rushang sir, if you are trying to speak something, I'm not able to listen you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav, for the excellent presentation on the most recent engineering trends like IoT, AI, and ML, and to impart the deep knowledge about the IoT more specifically. And I'm sure that the audience is encouraged for making the things logical and not just building a project, but for building a solution. So all the best to all of you, and thank you again. Thank you from my heart. Thank you, Gaurav. Thanks for
Uh,
your time and knowledge.
Thank you so much, sir. I would appreciate the opportunity given to me by this Parul University, and by you for organizing this such wonderful this session. Yes, everyone can reach out to me for any queries they have. Feel free to reach me out on my number, and you can even mail me your queries. I can even answer that. So thank you so much, sir. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sure, sure. We all have enjoyed your session. Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes.